Welcome to Abuja. We're changing our focus now to, as you rightly saw there, the CJN conundrum, and joining us now to discuss whether or not there is a vacuum in the appointment of the CJN, Mr. Okoi Obono Obla,
yes.
beg your pardon, is a special assistant to the president on prosecution in the Federal Ministry of Justice. You're welcome to Sunrise TV.
Good morning, thank you.
Now, quickly, what precisely is the situation? We see a number of papers say that the vice president, who is now the acting president, has sent the acting CJN's name to the Senate for confirmation. Is that true?
Well, you just heard the Senate spokesperson, Senator Sabi, saying that there's something like that. They have not received any letter from the acting president appointing Honorable Justice Walter Samuel Ukandu Onogen as the Chief Justice of Nigeria.
No, they haven't received it doesn't mean it hasn't been sent. They're two different things.
I'm not aware. I just read it on the media, online. I saw Punch headline, and now I'm seeing this day. I'm not aware. I'm not aware.
So what precisely is the situation with the acting Chief Justice right now?
Well, we have an acting Chief Justice of Nigeria in the person of Honorable Justice Walter Samuel Ukandu Onogen. That is the situation for now.
Well, people believe that, the 3 months, I think, should have elapsed by now, or is about to elapse.
Well, I think it was sworn in, if I'm not mistaken, about 10th of November 2016 by the President, Muhammadu Buhari, and he was supposed to be in office for 3 months, as provided for under Section 231, sub 4 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. So if he was sworn into office on the 9th of November, then I think by the 10th of February, the 3 months will lapse. February 10th, if I'm not mistaken.
Which is Friday.
If my mathematics is correct, yes.
Which is Friday, and,
yes.
And his name has not been sent to the Senate just yet for confirmation.
Well, the situation is if his name has not been, if he has not been appointed, I will not say his name has not been sent. He has to be appointed because Section 231 sub 1 of the Constitution says a person shall be appointed to the office of the Chief Justice of Nigeria. He has to be appointed, then subject to confirmation. So after the appointment, then the name will be sent to the Senate for confirmation. If that is not done, I don't think there's going to be any constitutional crisis, as some people are speculating, because Section 231 sub 5 of the Constitution has provided a remedy that what the National Judicial Council should meet and then recommend him or extend the 3 months of the Honorable Justice Onogen.
So you do not see any problem with
I do not see, because there's no the Constitution has provided a remedy that if the acting appointment lapses, then the National Judicial Council can make another recommendation, and then the president will appoint, the same person as an acting Chief Justice of Nigeria. So the remedy is there. So I don't think there's going to be any constitutional crisis, as some people are fearing.
I'm going to read it for the benefit of our viewers. 231 sub 5.
Yes.
Except on the recommendation of the National Judicial Council, an appointment pursuant to the provisions of subsection 4 of this section shall cease to have effect after the expiration of 3 months from the date of such appointment, and the president shall not reappoint a person whose appointment has lapsed. Now, a lot of people believe that 5 should be read in conjunction with 4, and that 5 only applies to 4.
I do not think so. Let me give you, there's a precedent. I don't know why some of the senior lawyers who want to pretend, who were also members of the National Judicial Council in 2001, will pretend that this section does not exist and that there's going to be a constitutional crisis. Let's go to what transpired in 2011. The president of the Court of Appeal, then Honorable Justice Ayo Salami, he was removed from office. After his removal from office, an acting president of the Court of Appeal was appointed by the then president, Goodluck Jonathan, in the person of late Justice Adamu Dahatu. And he was acting president for 11 good months. Then, thereafter, the NJC do not recommend him for appointment as President of the Court of Appeal to President Jonathan. They rather President Jonathan appointed the judge who was next to him in the Court of Appeal hierarchy, and in the person of the current President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Zainab Bukushowa, yes, was appointed, and she acted as President of the Court of Appeal for 15 good months before she was appointed on the 14th of March 2014. So there's a precedent, and it was based on the provisions of a similar provision as Section 2315 of the Constitution, that is for appointment of the President of the Court of Appeal. That is the intermediary court between the Supreme Court and the High Court.
Yeah, but I'm sure a lot of people would not have noticed that, because we're not talking about the apex court. We're not talking about, for a lot of people, the judiciary has a head, and the head is the Chief Justice of the Federation. And they've never seen the President, or beg your pardon, the Chief Judge, act for so long.
Yes, but there's a precedent. If you look at the Constitution, the Court of Appeal is also a very important court. It is next to the Supreme Court. Appeals lies from the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court, and the provisions are similar. I was telling you, if you look at the Section 231 that deals with the appointment of the Chief Justice of Nigeria and the Justices of the Supreme Court, it's all the same wording with the one that has to do with the appointment of the President of the Court of Appeal, the President of the Justices of the Court of Appeal, appointment of an acting President of the Court of Appeal, and so forth and so on. It's the same thing.
Are you saying that justifies the situation we currently have?
Well, there's a precedent. There's no vacuum. I have told you, in this country, we had an acting President of the Court of Appeal for almost 24 months. And we also had a Chief Justice of Nigeria acting in the person of Honorable Justice Idris Kutiji. Maybe a lot of people have forgotten. In January 2007, he was appointed by President Olusegun Obasanjo as acting CJ of Nigeria.
For how long?
Well, I can't remember, but he was appointed acting CJ. And also, let me give you another precedent. Justice Dan Abutu.
You are citing...
Let me finish now.
By all means, go ahead, Mr. Obla.
Please. Because we are talking about appointment of the heirs of superior courts. The Supreme Court is a superior court. The Court of Appeal is a superior court. The Federal High Court is a superior court. The High Court of the states, they are superior courts. The High Court of the Federal Capital Territory is a superior court. The National Industrial Court is a superior court. The Sharia Court of Appeal is a superior court. So the head of another superior court was appointed in an acting capacity, Justice Dan Abutu, when Justice Mustafa Abdullahi, who was then the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, retired. An acting Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, in the person of Justice Dan Abutu, was appointed. So they are precedents.
Mr. Obono Obla, my question to you, first of all, is just, I think we pointed out that the Supreme Court is not just any superior court. It is the superior court of the land. It is the last court of resort. When they speak, the law has spoken, and that's the position of law. That's one. And then two, the CJN is like overseeing the entire judicial system. If things go wrong in the judiciary, people look to the CJN for direction. He's an acting capacity. And then two, you have cited this precedent, but I've asked you, does it justify the fact that we have a CJN who's acting for so long?
Well, he is acting, and there is no vacuum. That is my answer to your question. We have an acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, so your question does not arise.
It does not answer the question of justification.
Well, that is my opinion. I mustn't say exactly what you want me to say, but that's the way I want to answer it, that there is no vacuum.
My question is quite simple. It's a yes or no. It's either it justifies it or it doesn't justify it.
What I want to say is, we have an acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, and there's no vacuum. Your question does not arise.
Why do we have an acting Chief Justice of Nigeria?
It is the discretion of Mr. President. So you don't ask me that question. Mr. President, maybe...
As a lawyer, are you not uncomfortable about that?
I am very, very comfortable, because we have an acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, and it's provided for in the Constitution. There's no vacuum. Cases are heard in the Supreme Court. The Justice Onogen presides over if he wants to. So cases are heard. So what is the problem?
Some people believe that right now, I mean, when the other courts that you've just cited, all the superior courts that you've just cited, you know, when they have acting, you know, heads in their capacities, whenever anything is supposed to be decided, the NJC can sit and decide on whether or not, you know, they should be re-recommended, as it were. Now, they find it a little untidy in this situation because the Chief Justice, the acting Chief Justice, as it were, is supposed to be heading the NJC.
Oh, let me answer your question. Very simple. 2 weeks ago, I had a letter from the Secretary of NJC. He was talking about a communication between my office and the NJC over some judges. And he said that he have received our communication, and the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Walter Samuel Nkanu Onogen, and Chairman of NJC. I have the correspondent. He's there in the office. So he is the Chairman of NJC. So he should call a meeting of NJC, and so that they will recommend extension of his tenure.
Over his own matter?
Well, that is one of the faults in the Constitution, which I am not here, I cannot correct. Let the National Assembly correct it. Because you have an NJC that is made up of only judges and lawyers. It shouldn't be. Well,
Mr. Obla, I'm afraid we have to take a moment now. When we return, we'll thrash the matter a bit more. Do stay with us.